This episode of Twin Speaks contains spoilers.
Welcome to Twin Speaks First Watch, First Listen of Triple Frontier, starring Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, Garrett Hedlund, and Pedro Pascal. Directed by J.C. Chandor and written by Mark Bohl and J.C. Chandor. I'm your co-host, Pat. You can find me on Twitter at KidCombo, and I, of course, joined by my twin brother and co-host. You can find him on social media. Fuck! Fuck that up so bad. It's Andrew.
My eyes are all watery all of a sudden.
You're just sad about that.
Yeah, I guess. I'm offended you screwed up my social media. So.
Oh, did I say it? No, it doesn't matter. At Andemonium.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to change my handle.
To what?
Boner Doom. It's a band name I've been workshopping for a while.
You should save it now before someone else takes it.
Yeah, one of our 3 listeners takes it.
We have more than that, I think.
4.
No, I think
just tell me when to stop.
Something.
5. 6.
We love all of our listeners.
All 6 of you.
Yeah. Triple Frontier came out on Netflix like last weekend.
No, it was
2 weekends ago.
No, it came out on Wednesday.
Oh my god. Okay.
Because I remember being like, that's weird. Why is it a Wednesday?
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. But first, there's like a whole bunch of news from this last week. Bunch of stuff happened, so we'll try and like get through that as fast as possible. But first, the Disney has officially closed the $71.3 billion acquisition of a bunch of pieces of 21st Century Fox.
Yeah.
So I found like a list of what they own now. Not like more like pieces.
Right.
So Fox Film and TV Studio, the Effects Network, National Geographic, Star India, and Fox's 30% stake in Hulu, which means they now have 60% stake in Hulu, which makes them the majority stakeholder.
Shit. Do you think they're just going to eat it and then
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought was like they're trying to do
They can't at 60%. That's not enough. So.
No, it's not enough. But it maybe motivates them to do...
To buy
more.
Out the rest?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because like they've been in the talk about doing their own...
No, they are doing their own.
There are, yeah, right.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus. Which is kind of
interesting. Is that just the norm for these streaming services? Blank Plus. I feel like they're all named Blank Plus.
Yeah.
Hulu's going to come out with the second one. It's going to Hulu Plus.
Crave Plus? Isn't that what it's called? Crave.
Isn't it Crave 1? Or something like that?
I think it is Crave Plus, isn't it? It's Crave something, yeah.
I don't want to Google it.
Netflix Plus?
Netflix Plus is just all their Netflix shows and
no,
nobody
it's just
buys
porn.
it. It's just porn. Yeah. Then what's Pornhub Plus? Movies and shows.
Yeah. Original Netflix or original series.
Pornhub series.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they came out with like and Michael Fassbender's and like they have all these like A-list Hollywood celebrities
doing what?
Playing like major parts in like actual drama.
Oh, on Pornhub.
On Pornhub Plus, yeah.
Right. It doesn't really roll off the tongue the same. Pornhub. I think it's too many P sounds.
There's only one.
Plus?
Pornhub. Oh, Pornhub. Yeah, okay.
Pornhub Plus. You can't even say hub. You're just like
I skipped it.
Porn Plus.
What do you think this means for all of the stuff?
I don't think it really means anything for...
Do you think they do anything for Marvel?
Yeah, that's the only one.
Yeah, that's
I think that's the only one that matters.
I did see this thing on Twitter that said that, and I forgot who posted it now, but...
Because they own the rights to The Simpsons, Predator, like all these other things.
Yeah.
But I don't think they do anything too differently with any of them.
I think with that stuff, they just kind of go like, we own you now. And like leave it at that kind of thing. Because, well, with The Simpsons, it's like it's already a moving thing. Oh, it's already existing.
No, okay,
it's been
I
around.
See what you mean.
Like they're
I
not
feel
changing.
like you didn't say that. I get what you mean. You mean like Like, not that, like, oh, we own you now. It's just that now they're not going to do anything too differently from what they're doing. Okay.
But I did see this thing on Twitter that said that Disney now owns Freddy Got Fingered, the movie title.
Woo!
The Tom Green
Hell
film.
Yeah. Tom Green going to make a comeback. He's going to be Cyclops in the next X-Men movie.
Is that the one where he goes, Daddy, what is it? Daddy, you want some sausage? Is that movie?
No, you're thinking Accepted with Jonah Hill.
Daddy, do you want some? No, that's that's the one where he's like, do you want to
touch my wiener?
Touch my wiener? Yeah. What does this mean in terms of Marvel movies? Do you think they immediately start doing...
I think they're in... I don't think they do it immediately, but I think people will ask for it immediately.
Oh, totally.
I think that like Deadpool will still probably go as planned, but like a lot of that, like that stuff won't change, and I don't think they have any intention of like engulfing Deadpool at all. Like I think they'll just keep doing their own thing with Deadpool. I think the rest of the X-Men and Fantastic Four and stuff like that, they might start doing stuff, but like I don't know if they should.
What do you mean by that?
Like, I think they're in a position now where they can, like, pick and choose who they put in there. So, like, they could just do certain X-Men or certain, like, mutants or certain Fantastic Four characters.
Okay.
Not necessarily, like, of the Fantastic Four, but, like, their villains. Like, Doctor Doom or something like that.
Which would be cool.
Yeah, because especially with like a sequel for Doctor Strange, they could do that Triumph and Torment movie.
Oh, right.
Or maybe they do like Secret Wars, like the more recent one.
I could see Secret
Dr.
Wars
Doom.
being a significant one.
Because you have all these sort of like random characters. There's not like a team. And they're in a position now where like at the end of phase 3? No, start of phase 3 now.
Start of phase 3, yeah.
Like they've already got phase 3 planned out.
Yeah,
they do. So like maybe going into phase 4, they do all this stuff.
Yeah, I think that that's probably the most realistic view of it too, is phase 4 being the one that they actually,
the launch pad. Yeah,
because like the amount of time that it takes to prep all of this stuff, to hire actors, to like whether or not they decide to recast all of these people. But like
they might have had preliminary talks with a lot of people.
Yeah, but until like a deal goes through, you can't really say like, oh yeah, okay, you can actually we'll hire you to play, Mr. Fantastic or whatever.
They were talking about New Mutants, which is like that unreleased movie now.
Yeah.
About putting it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that seems like such a safe thing to do.
I mean, I thought they were going to do that with the Phoenix, whatever.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix, right.
The Goblet of Dark Phoenix. X-Men 3 Resaga.
No, but I think the only... Okay, so the one thing I hope from this is that there's a Silver Surfer movie. I don't know why.
Just a Silver Surfer movie?
Yeah, it's like the only thing that... I forgot what I was watching.
Galactus.
What?
I want Galactus.
Yeah.
Galactus and Doctor Doom and Namor.
Which is funny because Namor was the one that I read that is owned by like Legendary or Lionsgate or something like that. It's like owned by one other one.
It's like a joint thing. Like I don't think he's allowed to have his own. It's like the same as Universal with the Hulk, I think.
Or even Sony with Spider-Man. It's like it has to be.
Yeah.
They have to sign off on it or something. But it was like some random studio. I can't remember who it was.
There was, I think it was Doctor Strange director like Scott Derrickson tweeted a photo with Namor.
Oh.
And I think the idea is that they're already planning on using him.
That's interesting. I like that.
Sweet, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That'd be sweet.
But yeah, I forgot what I was watching that we were like talking about Silver Surfer. Oh, it was Love, Death, and Robots. There's like one of the episodes, it's like this guy. Well, I don't want to ruin it for you, but because you haven't seen it, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it just reminded me of Silver Surfer, and I just thought how cool it would be to have a Silver Surfer movie.
Sweet.
But yeah. So that's kind of cool. I think we'll probably start seeing maybe some of that stuff starting to ramp up.
One of the things I noticed too is that all these other like Marvel actors are now like tweeting out or like Instagramming photos of other characters.
Yeah.
Like Chris Hemsworth posted a photo of Deadpool and Thor.
Oh, cool.
Which is like so funny, and then like tagged Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Which like they wouldn't have done before. No. But now that like they're allowed to, like, now that
it's almost like they have like the freedom to actually do that kind of stuff now.
Yeah.
Which I think Deadpool is maybe the most likely to appear in other stuff.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep it separate and completely on purpose because I don't. It's like the one character that they have that did so well.
Yeah.
And like universally sort of accepted among like the best of X-Men movies.
Yeah, sure.
Or mutant movies. Like maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but like I think overall as a movie it's way better.
I think it's a good movie.
But it doesn't work with current Marvel heroes. Like I don't think it works like in the same sort of like sphere that like, you know, like it's R-rated, like it's breaking the fourth wall, it does all those weird jokes, like all the characters are super sort of like in that weird separate world versus like the more grounded Marvel Studios.
But you don't think he even just makes a minor appearance now?
Can he though? Like as a character, I don't know.
Maybe he shows up in like as like just for like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah,
as like kind of a funny thing. At least they sort of have that freedom now, and maybe that's the biggest thing to draw from all this is like freedom. All of a sudden they were like locked into having only these select heroes.
Yeah.
Now they have it all. Well, almost all. But yeah.
But I think this also means that we don't see Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, or any of those, or Jessica Jones, any of these characters, like, for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I think because of this, like, saturation of heroes again,
yeah,
I don't think we see them for a while.
I am interested to see what happens with that.
I'd love to see Daredevil with Spider-Man in the movie, but, like, I don't think
and I'd love to see the Punisher having, like, a full-on...
Yeah.
You know, even just like a full-on feature. I think that'd be kind of neat too. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. We're at like a cool point where all of a sudden there is like a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
But speaking of Disney, they have reinstated director James Gunn for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I had read or I'd listened to a podcast that was like breaking down when everything happened.
Yeah.
And it was the conspiracy theory is that he never got fired.
Ah, interesting.
And that Disney is such like a well-oiled, meticulously planned machine that they had all this stuff came out, all these tweets came to surface because of whatever alt-right group decided to like resurface them. All this stuff came out, and Disney had to react as people like expected them to. Fired him in quotations, let people sort of like come back in his favor and say like, listen, that's not what we meant to do, like we didn't want that. And because it's almost been a year now.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been like a while, like it's half a year maybe, I can't remember.
I think half a year because I remember us talking about it not that long ago.
And enough time has passed for people to sort of come back in favor. He's taken up another project, and then they go, okay, like that's enough. You can come back.
Well, and like all of the actors that he's worked with came out and were like in support of him and blah blah blah.
He also was like pretty radio silent. As well. There was an interview. Apparently,
he didn't muddy the water at all.
No, there's an interview that his brother did, Sean Gunn. That like before this had happened, like before he had been rehired, and they asked him about it, and he said like whatever answer, but he's like. Near the end of the interview, he goes, but I think it's all going to work itself out pretty soon.
Nah.
This is before they announced that he was going to be back.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Like, that's so, like, he obviously knew. He was in the know. It's his brother.
Yeah. And they're obviously very close. They're, like, writing partners, and they work very closely in the movie together.
I don't know. Like, that makes sense to me. Is that, like, and that
it's
just
like
seems
Michael
like...
Jordan all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but it is. Like, it's the exact same. And it's, like, it's just a weird, like, it wouldn't surprise me if Disney was like that.
Yeah.
If Disney decided, you know what, like, we're not going to lose him. He's gotten us 2 giant, like, successes. Yeah. Why would we fire this guy?
Yeah.
When it's very clearly, like, almost like a hit job on him. Oh, not to say that, like, the stuff that he said wasn't
bad. Because it was bad.
It was gross. And it was, but at the same time, like, and, like, he's acknowledged this as well. It's just sort of, like, of that era. It was, like, the employer he had at the time was, like, that weird, like edgy edgelord type movie making. It doesn't make it right, but like you can kind of see where it's coming from type thing. It's just like it just seems to fit together a little bit too conveniently.
And it is weird because his humor now seems so harmless.
It does.
In a way, like it's if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2,
like they're funny.
You're not going like, oh, this guy's made some like pretty fuck jokes in the past. Yeah. You're going like, this guy makes fart jokes on the regular and laughs about them.
Yeah, totally. So I don't know. I think that like that's so surprising, but at the same time, like it's believable.
Totally.
And like, of course, for him to get hired by another studio and maybe that's it, like all part of it, right? Like maybe they have a conversation with Warner Bros. And say, listen, we're not using him, but like if you hire him, we may rehire him depending on how things go. Totally. And when people don't react to that, like at all, like I remember coming on, like even saying it on the podcast, like nobody said anything about that.
No.
He got hired by Warner Bros. To do the Suicide Squad and nobody said anything.
Yeah.
So like maybe they like, here we go, this is the time.
Yeah. It was almost very suspiciously quiet about when all that happened.
Well, I think suspiciously quiet, maybe like the opposite, you know, like maybe it was so suspiciously loud.
Oh, okay.
When he got fired.
Sure.
On the other side, before being fired, like calling for him to be fired.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You know, like calling for him to be fired and how much noise people were making about that.
And it was
him
like
getting
a very
fired and then the
group.
Reaction to that being like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then all this time to be like, you got to reinstate him, you got to reinstate him, you got to reinstate him. And especially for them to talk to other directors and them to be like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Adam McKay, Taika Waititi, the Russo brothers.
Well, there was like a
all
lot of
these
people
like
they were
different
talking
directors.
to like take over for him. It's like, no, nobody can do what he did. So
it
is interesting.
So
I think
suspicious.
it's a very interesting position that Disney put themselves into, but also James Gunn kind of put Disney into as well.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know if that's true. If it's like if he really never did get fired.
Yeah.
But I could see that happening. I could just see it being like, oh, let's just go ease up here. We have a plan, and then we'll reinstate you, quote unquote.
I mean, I like the topic now of this podcast is just Disney conspiracy theories.
Yeah. But last little thing about that is apparently the Suicide Squad, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be filmed like back to back.
Like back to back, which makes it even funnier that like they're clearly like not working together, but
It sounds like the Suicide Squad will come out after. So it's like 2020 is that release date, and then the other ones, or 2021, sorry, and then 2020 is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So I think they're filming Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Back to back, but they're doing the other one before. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. John Wick Chapter 3 trailer has been released. Full trailer this time, not the little teaser trailer. What'd you think? I really liked it. I thought it was so awesome.
It was very self-aware. Not that these movies aren't.
But I think that's the charm of all of them, because even the first one was self-aware, and the second one's self-aware.
The line about guns.
Yeah, I thought I was like, that's funny.
I was like, this movie is so cheesy, and like, that's why people like it.
But even like the acting in it, because like even Halle Berry, who's like a critically acclaimed actor,
Academy Award-winning actor,
Award has like kind of just a cheesy line in it.
I actually thought
there was
a
like,
scene where
that's so great.
The scene where she pushes the dog was so sick.
Yeah,
she like shoots him and she's like, go.
Yeah,
and he's like, yeah, he like bites the guy
over.
in the balls.
It was cool. But yeah, I thought the trailer was
balls
super super cool. I like really like that they're like just keeping their head down with like the tone of the movie.
Yeah, it's all
and
the
like
same.
There's like that little scene where he's in the desert. I thought that was like beautiful. Where he's like walking up the sand dune. I thought that was cool.
He was hustling up that sand dune.
Yeah. But like it just looks awesome. I think this movie looks really cool. Yeah. And there was a little poster that came out that Jason Mantzoukas is going to be in the movie too.
My boy, Pimento.
I just listened
You guys need to kill a guy? I could kill a guy. Dude, I have this really funny story. It's just him getting beat up.
I just listened to the podcast with him and Dak Shepard.
It's really good.
And it was really good. It was highly recommend that to anybody that's interested in sort of like anybody's back history or whatever. But Jason Mantzoukas has a really interesting history.
There's like the bit where he's talking about getting hired on for other shows.
Yeah.
And people just expect him to be the wiry, funny guy. And
like
he's
he was
totally
talking about
cool with it. He's like, most of the time
Parenthood.
he goes... Yeah, most of the time he gets hired to do a show, he doesn't have any lines.
Yeah, and the one with Parenthood, he got hired and he learned his lines because apparently he had written lines. He had done the first shot, and then the director came in and said, no, sorry, like someone must have not told you.
Just do whatever you do.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. Which I just find so funny. Like, isn't that just the life? Like, there's like, go be wacky, and he just bounces off the walls.
But then you hear him talk, and he's like very meticulous about everything.
He's such a smart guy, but he's so funny, so naturally funny. Yeah. Anyways,
what's funny though is
you're talking about Jason Mantzoukas forever because I just find him like such a fascinating guy.
What's funny is like in that podcast, he actually talks about the director of John Wick contacting him and asking him to be in the movie.
Yeah. And
then it's funny because then the poster came out yesterday. And people were like, holy shit, didn't know he was in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, if I listened to that podcast when it came out, I would have known early.
Because he
says it so quickly. He just kind of goes like, oh, the guy from John Wick like asked me to be in this movie.
He talks a lot on how this get made on, they don't like, he specifically doesn't like badmouth certain movies.
Yes.
Because he, like movies that have come out recently, be that he's expecting to do sequels. Like he never talks about, they have like a love for Fast and Furious movies.
Yes.
And he begs them to like put him in the movie.
Yeah. Because he
I think he would be like really out of place in that universe.
Yeah, I think the trailer looked really cool. I'm excited for that movie. I think like obviously we both liked both of them, but
yeah, they're so I just love they're what you expect. Like you go in expecting an action movie, it's an action movie. That's all it is.
I'm looking forward to reviewing that one, I think. Moving on. Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, and John David Washington have joined the cast for the new Christopher Nolan movie.
When they had all the cast photos like next to each other, it made like John David Washington look like the most like everyday man, where Robert Pattinson looked more like an actor, and then the girl on the other looked like a caricature. They just like such a weird dynamic of characters and people.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like what roles, because it's like.
Do you see what he was describing it as?
No, I didn't see that.
Blockbuster action movie.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It was something weird like that.
Yeah. Apparently, he just finished the script, and then Warner Brothers gave him the July 17th, 2020 release date.
Yeah,
which is like apparently really classic of all of his movies. Is like that date. Warner Brothers like sets it specifically for him.
I had read something about him and his relationship with Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
they just apparently they don't ask questions.
Yeah, I read that too.
They just like let him do his thing, and he doesn't tell them what they're doing, and he just kind of like they just write a check, and that's all it is.
Yeah, because he's like guaranteed. Like we were talking about A+ movies.
He also he's a lot like Quentin Tarantino, where he takes forever to work on a movie. Yeah. So like Dunkirk took him forever to get there. Yep. He did Dunkirk a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
Now he's working on this. So and this isn't even they're not even filming this. Like they've only just announced cast and stuff.
Yeah, they said he just finished the script.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have a title yet.
No.
Like they're just casting now.
Which is more.
But it is cool that John David Washington's going to be in it.
Yeah,
I think that's fucking awesome.
And Robert Pattinson,
amazing in BlacKkKlansman.
The two of them, though.
Yeah,
I'm glad that Robert Pattinson is
this is what
now that he's done all these indie movies and stuff, and established himself as an actor. Getting
that was
back into this
2 weeks ago that we were
and
talking
same
about
with John David Washington. He's established himself as a credible actor.
Yeah,
and now he's able to do these things.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I admittedly don't know much about Elizabeth Debicki.
I recognize the name, but that's it.
Yeah, I recognize the name. I recognize her photo, but I sort of don't recognize a lot of what she's been in. Maybe that's just because I haven't seen stuff. But either way, I think that's going to be an awesome main cast. Yeah. But speaking of Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood got its first teaser. It was maybe a minute and a half.
It's such a classic trailer.
Yeah,
because it doesn't give anything away, but also at the same time, I'm I don't know.
Because really, all you see in it is Brad Pitt has a couple lines, and then Leonardo DiCaprio has a couple lines, but the rest of the cast, because this is a massive cast.
Yeah.
Nobody really has any other lines. In fact, nobody really has any like screen time. The guy who plays the Bruce Lee
I thought he was
character
sick.
looks unbelievably like him,
and he also has the same cadence.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is like
that line. I was reading some stuff about like Brad Pitt's character, and like very much just like channeling, what's his face, Aldo Rain.
Yeah.
He sounds exactly the same, but then his like could listen to him deliver dry humor all day long.
Yeah.
It's so like weird to hear Brad Pitt make jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this one thing on Reddit. It was like a comment about him being a character actor in a leading man's body.
Oh.
And I thought that was actually kind of funny, like, because he does have that weird sort of like sense of humor.
I feel like that applies to a lot of actors though.
It probably, yeah. But I mean, like, for Brad Pitt, you can definitely see it because of like his characteristics being funny.
Yeah.
Being put in movies that are actually, massive movies, but then him being like really funny and drawing to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has like kind of a funny line about manslaughter, being punched by Bruce Lee. He's like, no, that's called manslaughter if you kill me.
Yeah.
This doesn't really show too much. It just sort of gives you like the tone of the movie, I think.
Yeah. The scene though with Leonardo DiCaprio with the mustache, really creeps me out. He just looks so creepy in that scene. Yeah. He just looks weird with stubble and like a mustache like that. He looks so grimy. It's like, ugh.
He does look very grimy. That's a good way of describing it. That comes out July 26th. The 9th movie by Quentin Tarantino.
So he's doing 10, right?
I think that was the thing that he said, yeah. So the next one probably doesn't come out until what? 2021 or something?
No, it's probably later than that. I feel like it's really
When did
Hateful Eight came out like 6 years ago, I feel like.
Oh my god, really?
It's something like that. Because like we saw it with Dad, remember?
Oh yeah, it was like during Christmas.
You told him that there was
an intermission.
Intermission, there wasn't. And he was like not happy about it because I think he really had to pee. 2015.
Like, when, sorry?
2015.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, 4 years ago.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Toy Story 4 has also gotten a trailer. That comes out June 21st this year. Directed by Josh Cooley, who did Inside Out. And written by Stephanie Folsom and Andrew Stanton. This is like a trailer where I think it showed a lot.
Yeah, I was
a little more than I wanted.
Actually stopped watching about it was probably way too late.
I felt like I watched a shortened version of the movie.
Yep.
Because it could have stopped where it was like, oh, we have to go bring Sporky back. And I would have been like, cool, I know what's going on in this movie.
I love Sporky. I love the existentialism in Sporky.
There's like the bit where he's like, so what am I? And he's like, you're a toy. And he goes, what? He's like looking at himself. He's got like pipe cleaner arms.
When he just like hurls himself out the window too. Keanu Reeves is in this.
Yeah.
You see his character? He's the Evil Knievel.
Oh, very briefly they show him
really
like for a split second. Yeah.
That's
kind of cool.
Great. Yeah.
But yeah, this trailer, maybe don't watch it if you're wanting to be a little bit surprised, or pause it halfway or something. Yeah. Because it does show a lot, and like I said, like it feels like you watch a shortened version of the movie. That being said, it looks great.
Yep.
It looks awesome, and I'm excited for it. But I know it's going to be like existential and sad, but great at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, so that comes out June 21st this year. And then there was another trailer that came out, I think today or yesterday. The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Scheduled for a June 14th release date this year. Directed by Joe Talbot and written by Talbot and Rob Reichert. It won the U.S. Dramatic Directing Award and the Special Jury Award at Sundance this year.
Oh, wow.
Which Special Jury Award is like the big one. That's like the one that if you win that one, it means your movie's like gonna maybe win some big awards down the road.
I didn't know it.
The trailer is unbelievably beautiful, and I think it's the most beautiful trailer I've seen in like a long time. It was like, it's so like I don't know how to describe it. It's just so good looking, and then like it almost feels like a Wes Anderson movie. How goofy it is. Like there's the little bit where
I didn't watch
because I can't really tell what it's about. It just seems like these two guys who are like best friends, and they're sort of like just trying to figure out where they end up or how they fit into like San Francisco or like the world or whatever.
It's a coming of age movie.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that. But there's like the little bit where they're like, he's like, oh, I always come to like our old house just to stand in front of it, like to remind myself of like my childhood. And he's like, why don't you just go inside? And so they like look at each other, and there's like a side camera or a camera view from like the side of a stairs, and it's like them running up the stairs, and they bust open the door, and then it's like he clicks his heels while he's jumping in the air.
Oh yeah.
And like that entire sequence was just like hilarious, but it was nice. It was like it's such a beautiful looking movie, and I don't know. I'm just really excited about it now. It was really cool. Did you watch it?
I watched it. I didn't listen to it though, and I only watched like part of it. I think
soundtrack
I don't
really
remember
cool,
where
too.
I saw it. I don't remember when I watched it.
I think I saw it on Instagram. I think there was like
maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
Rotten Tomatoes, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's I think what it was.
June 14th. Definitely have a look out for this one, or check out the trailer because it does look really good. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, but we were talking about Suicide Squad 2 or the Suicide Squad before. According to producer Peter Safran, it is going to be a total reboot.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny because we were talking about what was that stuff that we saw? Oh, Birds of Prey. That's what we saw.
Yeah, but that's separate.
That is separate.
So do you think that Will Smith couldn't do it because of scheduling, or do you think that he was just recast?
That's a really good
Because if it's
point.
a total reboot, it makes more sense that he's not
that
in
he's
it.
recast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's more along the lines of what's happening.
Because you and I had kind of said, oh, it was probably scheduling thing because then he got signed to like a different movie. Remember, we immediately started talking about like that movie with Serena Williams or the the Williams sisters.
Yeah.
Sorry, where he plays the dad. But that's interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. If it's a reboot, then they probably didn't want him anymore. So that makes me think that maybe Harley or Margot Robbie might be recast as well, which is
she might
interesting.
not. She might not even been in it.
Yeah,
she's not really like a pivotal part of that team. Outside of before the movie came out.
Yeah, right.
Like before the movie came out, she wasn't. Movie came out, she got written in basically. Like in the comics.
And then I guess that makes sense because like that little bit that we read last week about the movie, it's almost entirely based around Deadshot.
Yeah.
So it's like his almost an origin story about Deadshot.
Yeah.
But then probably leads into the Suicide Squad. That's interesting. There's also another trailer for a movie called The Headhunter.
Yeah.
Directed by Jordan Downey. It's a medieval warrior sets out to add one more trophy to his collection of several heads. The monster that killed his daughter.
The writer and like one of the producers or something was like answering questions on Reddit.
Oh, that's
in
cool.
the first trailer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was just like they were going through the thread like answering stuff.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, I'm glad you guys liked the trailer." And
it's very much an indie film.
Yes.
That is just getting a lot of attention because it made its way to the front page of like r/movies. That's all.
Absolutely, and that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
I just kind of saw the trailer and the like thumbnail for the trailer looked cool, so I clicked on it.
That was literally it. I don't. It looks cool. It's neat. It's kind of a cool like
concept.
Like you don't get a lot of those like fantasy medieval movies anymore outside of like Robin Hood.
Because he kind of looks like
King
a
Arthur,
Viking,
Game of Thrones stuff, but like
a Viking, and he's like hunting people. That's kind of what it looks like. But then he sort of goes into some very like
interesting. It's not going to get like a worldwide release.
Though. No way. If we see it, it'll probably be like us renting it on iTunes or something.
Yeah.
But that being said, it looks cool. Like it's a cool idea, I think. It looked a little disorienting. That's my only complaint, I think, from the trailer is it was like a little too Blair Witch Project. Like it's spastic a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that was sort of the point.
Yeah.
But that I can kind of see how that might be a little irritating.
Yeah. Because it seemed like a lot of that trailer was that.
That being said, it might be a fun movie to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last piece of news. Danny Trejo will voice Boots in the live-action Dora the Explorer movie. Not really surprising considering he's like worked with Robert Rodriguez a lot.
Oh,
Like several movies, like all the Spy Kids movies. And then a trailer is supposed to come out this Saturday.
he would have been a sick Detective Pikachu.
Yeah. And what's funny is I read that Danny DeVito actually was like doing testing for that.
Yeah, I read that too. That
Which
funny.
is exactly who you said.
No, I was
that-
thinking like old Hellboy.
Oh.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danny Trejo, that would have been a good one too.
that would have been good too.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the poster for this movie, and it says, it's like the tagline is "Explorer is her middle name."
Dora Explorer. What?
I don't know.
Oh.
Isn't that like her last name? Isn't the her middle name?
Her middle name's the. Now it's Explorer the Explorer.
Dora Explorer, the Explorer.
Yeah.
I don't know. This it's like I'm not really paying attention
This is
to
one
this
of these,
movie,
like,
but
who
it's
gives a
kind of fun
fuck?
just
Yeah.
to like check in on every once in a while.
watch the trailer.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's it for news. Was there anything else? Okay. Triple Frontier, starring Ben Affleck, Oscar Isaac, Charlie Hunnam, Garrett Hedlund, and Pedro Pascal. Directed by J.C. Chandler, who did A Most Violent Year. Did you ever watch that?
No, but I know that Oscar Isaac's in it.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac.
I do want to see it. Like, it's
And-
one of those things.
Is it Bryce Dallas Howard?
Yeah.
No, it's the other
one
one.
that looks like her.
Jessica Chastain.
That's it.
That's it. I was
Watch
getting
it,
two of
watch
them
it
mixed up.
actually be Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. And then Mark Bull and JC Chandor wrote the script. So the tag or IMDb like summary of this is: loyalties are tested when 5 former special forces operatives reunite to steal a drug lord's fortune, unleashing a chain of unintended consequences.
Yeah.
What are your immediate thoughts? What did you like?
really liked it.
Okay,
I did.
great.
I think also you knew that Ben Affleck was gonna fuck them over.
Yes, right from the beginning.
I had read like a bunch of cool stuff about like who was supposed to be in this.
Who was supposed to be in it?
Well, I'll go to Wikipedia, but like Tom Hardy was supposed to be in it.
I think Idris Elba was supposed to be in it too.
Oh, that'd be cool.
There was like a bunch of big actors, and this was like in development since 2011, which is like
What?
crazy. Yeah. Ben Affleck was in it, and then he was out of it, and then he signed back onto it. And Oscar Isaac was actually one of the last
People
people to like cast in it. Tom Hanks, Johnny Depp in 2010.
What? Jeez.
Yeah, Catherine Bigelow was going to direct it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
which is
cool.
crazy. Which is like so of the era too. Like,
Yeah. That's awesome.
Channing Tatum and Tom Hardy were supposed to be in it. Mahershala Ali was supposed to be in it,
And only just recently dropped out, like before this was made.
Interesting.
Casey Affleck and Ben Affleck were the brothers.
Oh, okay.
Mark Wahlberg was in it. Charlie Hunnam and Garrett Hedlund were then in it with Pedro Pascal and everybody. And then Ben Affleck eventually did sign back on with Oscar Isaacs joining in. And then Ali had been forced to drop out of the project when production was delayed.
Wow.
Yeah. So, like, crazy cast. Like, this
Yeah.
just basically went through, like, all-star cast, all-star
But
cast,
it's funny,
all-star
like,
cast.
all of those people match up with the.
Yeah, they all
characters,
have
I think.
like I realized I said like a million times there, and it was
That was
it wasn't
weird.
like
It's almost like you were trying to say.
I wasn't trying to say I was trying to say like the
A.
letter A. Yeah. They all have a background in those movies, like
Yes.
those types of like
Yeah, definitely.
military style movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
This could have been this felt like kind of like Black Hawk Down, like a little bit with like the cast,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, totally.
not nearly as good, but like it was still pretty good. I liked it. Georgia keeps rolling her eyes.
Yeah.
Quiet your eyes, Georgia.
I liked. I think like the first half of this movie.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, like, some of the reviews I'd read was saying that, like, it starts so well and it goes so well. I wouldn't even say first half. I would say, like maybe, like, 3/4 of this movie is the last, like, chunk.
It is the last
going
chunk
up the Andes. As soon as they get in the helicopter.
Yes. As soon as they get in the helicopter, that was actually the exact moment where I was like, they're sort of flying, and I was like, I've kind of just lost it. I know how much is left in this movie, and I know that something's going to happen, and I kind of just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Because leading up to that point, I liked the bit where he's like Oscar Isaac. Like, the very beginning, I really liked
scene
where Oscar Isaacs is like what is he, like a DA or something? Like, he's like a special forces guy, but he's like leading this one crew.
Yeah, he flanks that building, shoots the grenade launcher inside the building, and then just like hands the gun. I actually thought that comes back later when he like refuses to kill anybody.
Yeah.
And it was very much like, I don't want any part of this, and I don't want any of this. So like, here's the gun. But he makes it seem like, you did it, buddy. Yeah. Like, here's a promotion, and he hands him the gun. But like, in hindsight, you're like, no, he just like he hates that part.
Yeah. That's like the part of the job that he really
struggles
doesn't
with.
Want it. Yeah. But I really like that part. And then the little bits where he's like, okay, he knows where the drug lord is. And I kind of like the funny bits where they were like connecting, oh, the house is the safe.
Yeah.
Because literally the money is built into the house.
That entire sequence of them staking out the house and then eventually coming back and raiding the house and then finding the 2 guards and then shooting the 3rd one, that built so much tension.
Sure.
I was squirming around watching that. Because you have no idea where the bad guy, like what's a drug lord guy is. You just assume that the kids are going to come back any second. The other guards are going to show up.
Yeah.
It's so tension building and it's so good. And it was like, that to me was like the peak of the movie because you're just sort of like, oh, like you need to leave. And then Ben Affleck's like, no, more money. And then you're like, no, please.
Yeah. That's I think the exact perfect point because it felt like all the tension was built up to that point and it was like all of that was so great. It was so great up until that point and
what
then
was that?
I don't know, she was like trying to mouth something to me. But then it felt like as soon as that passed and then there was more movie to go, I was like, I don't know if it can live up to that sort of level for the rest of the movie because it felt like that all the way up to that point. It felt like, oh, this is really great. This is really intense. This is like, I felt like I was focusing on the kids. Like, oh fuck, they're gonna come home any second now. Yeah. One of them is gonna kill the kid accidentally. Yeah, and it's gonna spiral out of control. Yeah.
Well, so like I liked there's bits where they kind of like get back to that tension building too. Like I think when they eventually like find the other van and they load it up and like all those action sequences where Oscar Isaac's like shooting at the van and then the other guys pop out and they're like counting kills and shit.
Yeah.
Although it's funny because like one of the comments I read was like Ben Affleck says to yell out kills and then the first person he kills, he doesn't call it out.
Yeah.
And like that's not supposed to be sort of like a hint towards anything. I think it was just bad editing.
Yeah.
But anyways, all of those scenes super cool, and you do get sort of an idea of like how good they are at this job.
Sure. And even like leading up to that, sorry to interrupt you, but like the bit where they're staking out the place before they go to do it.
Yeah, you do get like
and
an
you're
idea.
Like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, and then like, but even them getting in the vehicle and getting away from the compound after it's on fire and driving by the kids, you go like, this is still like tense.
Yeah.
And then they're driving away and they eventually get to the helicopter. Yeah. When they get to the helicopter, you still feel like somebody's going to show up. And you still feel like something's going to happen.
Like, why are they taking so long to load this thing?
And
why
like they're sort of like talking to each other too, and they're kind of like, we got to go, we got to get out of here. And they're like taking their time, and some of them then like turn around and are like hounding each other. Like that was still good.
Yeah.
It wasn't until you get in the helicopter and it crashes. Like that scene, you're sort of like, you know it's coming. It's a little too broadcast, I think.
Yeah.
When they crash, you do sort of get back to how tense it is when like some of the villagers kind of revolt and stuff like that. Or when I think what would have been a lot better is if they really leaned into the villagers tracking them again.
Yes.
I think like adding that sort of suspense that somebody's coming, because they just kind of talk about like, oh, like the government's going to come. They're people like you don't know who you stole from, that thing.
It's like, don't start a fire because maybe we'll get spotted.
It was just like little stuff like that. Yeah. They should have leaned into it a little bit more and like maybe dug that out and like made you a little bit more afraid of what was going to happen. But as soon as Ben Affleck gets killed, and like as much as it's kind of unexpected, Oscar Isaac then like explains why he got shot and nobody else did. And then after that, like as much as you expect something else to happen or somebody else to die, nobody does.
No.
And like I think that part of the movie is sort of like the part where you kind of go like, I will say though, like one of the things I said to Jill after this movie is that you don't feel good about anything in this movie.
No.
I think everything that happens, you feel like you feel dirty. You feel like they were the bad guys. Yeah. And I don't think there's any part of the actors that try and convince you otherwise. Like, I think so much of their performances and, like, how they do the dialogue and stuff is intentionally to try and make you feel like they're the bad guys.
Yeah. They're definitely made to... not even just, like... If you don't agree with them being bad guys, you have to agree that they're not great people. Yeah. Because, like, there's even the bit where Oscar Isaac goes to visit Ben Affleck's character for the first time. And he's like, okay, let's go back to, like, my ex-wife's house. We'll stop there to pick up my daughter. So they, like, drive over, and he's like, do you want a beer? And he, like, gets the beer out of the fridge. And then... they're in the car.
Yeah, they're drinking
the beer while they're driving the daughter to school. And then Ben Affleck's questioning Oscar Isaac's character about the legality of doing whatever operation they're doing. And it's like, are you fucking serious? You're drinking while driving your daughter to school. And I was like, oh, wait, that's the point. They're supposed to be shitty people.
They're supposed to be in that position for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think the only person that you feel otherwise for is Oscar Isaac, and he's the only one that tries to maybe like go beyond killing people. Like he does make an attempt to try and not kill people, but eventually like you see that he does. I think one thing that makes this movie different than something like Zero Dark 30 or like what's the movie with Ben Foster and the dude who played Gambit? It's from Kelowna. The other war movie.
Oh. Oh my god, what movie is that? I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, anyways.
I like that movie, actually.
Those types of movies where the bad guy is the bad guy. Yeah. You know, like they're faceless, they're nameless. This movie, I think, does a good job of like making you feel bad for every person they kill because they're kids.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to kill them.
The villagers, they're like, oh, look at that guy. He's wearing, like, a Ronaldinho jersey. He's like, this is just some kid. Like, he's just some
so they definitely make you feel for the, like, in quote, bad guys because they're not bad guys. They're just, like, people reacting to the situation that they've now been thrown into.
Yeah.
I think that was great. I think it really does get a job of, like, switching that. Like, it doesn't feel like a very, like, stereotypical war movie. I think it is sort of different. It's in its own thing. The execution was kind of just the part that like falls, but like even having said that, I really did like it. It's a beautifully shot movie.
It is.
This again is like a sort of on this string of Netflix movies that look like legit movies. Like they have that sort of like theatrical value to them.
It is. I think to that point, and even though I didn't really like, I think this is definitely sort of a mid-road movie for me. I think this is definitely one of those movies where you like add it to the list of, Netflix isn't just making shit Adam Sandler movies. They're making like legit, like great cast movies. Yeah. And great cast because all the acting in this, Pedro Pascal stole every single scene that he was in.
Yeah, he's so good.
Him and Oscar Isaac were unbelievable.
Yeah, I think Ben Affleck has scenes where you're like,
he called it.
He has scenes where he's definitely like thrown in the towel.
Yes.
But there's also scenes where he's like, you're like, right, Ben Affleck's a good actor.
Well, the scenes in the house I thought were
where
great.
I think the scene where he's also in the shed where he's giving the speech about like you can't turn back. This is it. Stuff like that, and where he's with it. He's snippy, he's snappy, like stuff like snippy, snappy. He's great, and you're like, this is awesome. And then there's scenes where you're like, you're such an old man.
Yeah.
Just a chunky old man. Like
he does look a little chunky in this.
Intentionally though.
I think
like he's a washed up dad.
Like a washed up condo.
Very much like reflection of real life with him.
So my thing with this movie is that I felt like with the amount of dialogue in the movie, I didn't think that it was that well written. I felt like the ideas of the movie were cool, and I really liked how like the movie was sort of led up to, like we said, like the helicopter scene, and then even like the last chase scene where it's like the kids are chasing them to that beach, and they're like in that little Jeep, and he's like trying to get them to kill shoot them, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do it, and so he like shoots the tires or whatever. I thought there was like bits of the writing that were fine and were great, but then like a lot of some of the dialogue with like Charlie Hunnam and whatever his name, Garrett Hedlund, and even some stuff with Ben Affleck, I just felt were like not on the level that they should have been for the amount of dialogue that was in that movie. Does that make sense?
No, no, I think I don't think Charlie Hunnam was very good in this, and I think part of it is that he tries to hide his accent and just kind of comes off as distracting. I think the dialogue that the brothers have are almost like intentionally like they're like a representation of your very like stereotypical army guy, army bros in all these other movies, and I think it's so intentionally done and cheesy and kind of weird because it doesn't fit with a lot of the other characters' dialogue.
But I think that's why I found
I don't think that's bad writing. I think that's just the way the writing was supposed to be.
No, but I'm saying bad writing because they were there were just bad lines. Like it was just like cheesy writing that just I didn't think was very good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that like...
Yeah, but I don't think that's on purpose. I think it's just bad writing.
Because it just didn't match up with like the rest of the lines and dialogue, you know? Like Oscar Isaac's in the same scene would be just like his lines would be fine compared to Charlie Hunnam, where you're sort of like he's just a bro.
Well, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying, but I think there were specific moments where it wasn't just like one person talking to another person, and then that person's dialogue was shit, and then the other person's dialogue was fine, and that makes it. I think that makes it a character choice where you're like, that guy's supposed to be talking like that because the other guy's talking how he should be talking. It was like the content of what they were saying was just bad. And I'm just saying, like, them talking to each other was not good dialogue. That's what my opinion is.
Okay, that's why I didn't say no. Like again,
yeah.
You're allowed to have.
But then,
opinion.
like, I think leading up to that point, I actually did like the movie. I was really invested in it, and I really liked it. But then, as soon as they crashed, It's
not even bad after that. It's just like it just doesn't.
Slow. It's just slow.
It doesn't carry the momentum the way it should.
And I feel like it should have all that momentum because like that first bit was awesome
and intense and crazy,
and just really well done. And then it just sort of peters out. And I think that's maybe the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
But Pedro Pascal was unbelievable, and I really want him to be in more stuff.
He does have like an out of character line at one point though.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
The one where he talks about he's like we should shoot him.
Yeah.
Like that, I was like, you've been
Where did this come from?
Yeah.
Why did you say that?
I feel like it wasn't his line.
There was another part where
because Garrett Hedlund's gone at that point, so I wonder if it was supposed to be his line or something like that. Because he was a little bit more intense.
There was a funny moment where there was like four of them all together, and I think Ben Affleck comes over or something, or Oscar Isaac comes over, and he goes, "Oh, where's so-and-so?" And like Pedro Pascal and Charlie Hunnam are sitting beside each other, and they both at the exact same time go, "He's over there," and point. And I kind of went, "What? Why are they both saying that at the exact same time, the exact same lines, and doing the exact same action?" I think Pedro Pascal read someone else's line, and then they just went, "Oh, that was fine." It was just kind of fun. It was like, it kind of stuck out to me, and I still remember it.
Yeah, I don't know. He was great.
He was really
like,
good.
He's really good,
and
that's kind of why that's my argument against the writing part is that like he's so great. Ben Affleck has really great moments. Oscar Isaac's great. The girl's great too.
Yeah,
she does steal a lot of those scenes.
Yeah.
Like I think part of it is that like in the beginning you're sort of like she is so much more attractive than the other characters that she's standing in line against, and you're like, there's something about her.
Yeah, and he was kind of looking at her funny. Yeah.
So like that's kind of why I was like, well, I don't know if it's the writing because like they're great, and these two characters, their lines are just so cheesy and weird that like I just don't think he knew maybe how to write those characters. Maybe it's just weird like that.
But also writing because it does peter out. Like if it was well written, it would have been holding that sort of momentum.
That might be directors though.
Yeah, but he wrote it and directed it.
No, I don't think. No, he didn't. I think Mark Bowl wrote it.
Mark Bowl and JC, whatever his name is,
Chandor.
They wrote it together.
But Mark Bowl directed this?
No, JC Chandor wrote it or directed it, and then he wrote it with Mark Bowl.
Oh, because I was looking at Wikipedia. It just said he wrote it.
No, it said the two. I just looked at it.
Yes.
Okay, well, what would you give it?
Like a 5, I think, out of 7.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I did like it. It's just like that last quarter of the movie.
Honestly, I'm going to give it a 4. Like, I did like it too. There was like a lot of stuff that I liked about it. And like the ending I did like about it. You know, where he just sort of like, they have like all the money go to Ben Affleck's family. And they sort of like go around the table going like, yeah, that's fine. And then he has like a little bit left and he like gives it back to, who is it? Charlie Hunnam's character? He like gives it to? No, Oscar Isaacs to get him to go to Australia to go and meet the girl. And then he just sort of disappears.
No, he gives him the coordinates for where the money got.
Oh, right.
dropped.
Sorry. I thought he was giving him money. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
No, he gave him the coordinates for that. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I like that. That ending was fine. I like that.
Then he kind of like, he clearly like needed some sort of like motivation to go do something else.
But if this movie was like broken up into pieces, say like, I don't know, into 5 pieces, I'd say pieces 3 to 4, 3 and 4 were super slow, and it kind of dropped it for me. But then like 1, 2 were great, and then 5 was awesome. Does that make sense?
He just like worded that in the weirdest way. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I like the ending, I like the beginning,
but only give it a 4.
But I think a 4 is fine. Yeah. I think, because I like the acting as well. There was like bits of the acting that I found great.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I'm so flippy floppy on Charlie Hunnam. Like, what was that movie that we watched? Lost City of Z. I thought he was awesome in that.
Yeah.
I thought he was really great.
I think his accent was just weird. It kind of threw me off.
Yeah, I think
I know that they're trying to like sound like each other, but he just let it slip so much.
Yeah. Cool. Was there anything else? Yeah, so that was Twin Peaks First Watch, First Listen of Triple Frontier. What was the Triple Frontier?
It was the Andes, and I think it was like the Andes, maybe the ocean, and then
the jungle.
Yeah,
because you kind of get all 3 bits there.
I think so. I don't know. Look it up.
Jungle.
You have your computer in front of you right now.
Triple Frontier. But
you're going to use your phone.
What is the Triple Frontier?
I was going to make a joke about it. I'm just so tired right now.
No, it doesn't even say. I don't even know. The New York Times one says, rugged He-Man with sensational skills, refined sensitivities. Cool.
I did not get that from that movie.
And Michelangelo musculation. What? Never mind. Anyway, yeah, that was First Watch, First Listen of Triple Frontier, starring a whole schwack of people. Great cast. Yeah, you can find us on Twitter on Instagram at TwinSpeaksPod. We're pretty active on there. And me on Twitter at KidCombo_. You can find Andrew on social media at Animonium. Get in touch with us if there's a movie that you want us to watch. If you made it this far into the episode. Was there anything else?
No, we'll probably review Shazam next.
Yeah.
because we get it early.
Early access. Early
Screening.
Access.
Got this cool video game called Shazam.
They opened the theater just for us.
We had to tell Patrick. We had to tell them Patrick was dying of cancer.
That's great.
Testicular cancer.
Oh boy. All right. Bye.
Bye.